Greeting to all panels and participants. I am Lilian Gi, and today I will present our project which entitled Graphic Style Technique at Instructional Games Design, Evidence from Student Experience and Demographic Measure. In the digital era, technology assists the teaching and learning process. As we can see, educational games are one of the innovative technological instruments that have been introduced into the classroom learning presently. As we can see, the effectiveness of the educational games have been needs to look in another aspect as the attractiveness of the educational games. Therefore, these studies will determine the students' perceptions towards the visual design by investigating the graphic style embraced today by Malaysian students, including parallels with their demographic disparities and emotions, and their relationship with the virtual world of the game that will lead to the outstanding academic performance. As novelty, in a learning challenge nowadays, graphic style is an attempt to optimize learning experience through technology application, which is educational games in public school and institutions. Therefore, understanding the design concept in the use of graphic style, which help the educators across discipline to deeper understand the essence of game design in alignment with the pedagogical goals. Thus, the visual style can be the newest way to immerse a learner or a student in gaming. Through that, learner will perceive more when the graphic design fit their ideal features. As we can say that the novelty of this project is understanding the visual style that maybe will be influence the student to perceive in the learning and teaching process based on their preference and the taste through the game design interface. As this research have pointed out the importance of visual design in the educational games, so as the creativity of this project is to explore the potential graphic style difference will be influence the student experience based or through the educational games. Therefore, two prototypes will be developed. So one is for the abstract style and another one for the realistic style, as to compare the two style mode that will be influence the student preference and experience. Two prototypes were known as EBDGS for the abstract and EBDGSR for the realistic. Hence, abstract and realistic style study will allow educators and designers to create better educational games for any student level or any age without any boundaries. Based on the two prototypes have been developed, as we can see here, these are two different the elements or the design features that have been implemented in both games. For the left one is more to the realistic style as we call EBDGSR, and for the right one is for the abstract and minimalism visualize of these game elements. So we can see all the colors and all the gameplays are the same. The only difference is the characteristic of this both graphic style was different. So what are the innovatives that we have found out based on this project? Based on our finding that we are getting through the analysis of the statistic, majority students prefer simplistic visuals, which is more simplified form, solid colors, and restricted texture. All these are the characteristics of the visual style. Based on this finding from this project, we found out that abstract style more strengthens to the game visual stimulus qualities as to enhance the cognitive stimulation for our local students. Hence, the innovative that we are getting from is a visual guideline implement to our future educational games to strengthen the field of educational technologies during the learning and teaching process. Therefore, appropriate visual technique to effectively develop learning materials also is another important aspect that we should looking for as to develop a good quality educational games for our local students. Based on the research and also the findings, the applicabilities for this research project is creating a set of graphic principles as support for teaching approach focused on student-centered teaching methods that are adopted to the IR 4.0 era, improving game design as a sophisticated development of future educations today. Map the right art direction in the educational games as to improve the Malaysian students' experience of any age is also one of the applicabilities of this research project. The experience that we are mentioned here is the student motivation, engagement, and enjoyment during the process learning and teaching. Last but not the least, suitabilities of visual interface will enhancing learning in active and collaborative environment for classroom without any boundaries. So, this is the last applicability for this research project. Suitability of the visual interface should be known or recognized by the educator or designer as to enhancing the learning in active and collaborative environments in the visual or the education games interface for the students without any boundaries, anytime and anywhere. What are the criteria or the impact to the student learning based on this project? First, we found out that abstract style trigger a deeper level experience, which means that abstract style can be more enhancing student motivation, engagement, and enjoyment. Based on this result, we indicate that abstract style able to reduce student discomfort, boredoms, and disappointment in innovation learning environment nowadays. Based on this project also, we found out that visual play an important role to stimulate the meanings, interpretations, and accuracy of communication that have been delivered to the educational games to guide or also enhancing the student learnings. Based on this project also, we found out that visual is another important key or another important element that should be looked to during the educational games developments nowadays as to ensuring the effectively conducted of educational technology in Malaysia to all our local students. As the communications potentials of this project, the first point as to improving the game design from the visual aspect is the endeavors to innovate the educational games for future education in Malaysia. 2. EBGDS-A prototype that have been developed shed light on the knowledge of equations with visualizations principles for the educators and also designer to create a suitable visual games or the educational games for the student learnings. EBGDS-A endeavors to innovate educational games for a better virtual environment for teaching and learnings based on the student preference and also student demographic. EBGDS-A proposed can therefore be adapted to shape and maximize the student learning experience based on the student characteristic and also student preference. As this 4 point mentioned here, we found out that EBGDS-A can be or could be a benchmark for the educator and also designers to create a better educational games for all the students and also for all the students in any way, anytime to create a better learnings for nowadays. Let's come to the end of this slide presentation. Thank you to all panels and participants to listening my project. Thank you.